şey dikkat ettim.
Buyurun.
Bu hacker arkadaşlar önce hackliyorlar bir kurumu. Ondan sonra da değil mi kurumda o diyor ulan nasıl hackledin bizi diyor. Arkadaşlara iş veriyor yani. Onlar da iş sahibi oluyor. Yani şey gibi önce bankayı soyuyorsun, parayı indiriyorsun. Ondan sonra vay abim sen bizi çok güzel soydun diye karşı taraf geliyor sana orada iş veriyor.
Camı kıran camcıdır abi, ekmek parası ne yapalım ya?
Peki o arada şunu merak ettim Gökhan abi. Mesela parayı indirdi ya baba. O para onda mı kalıyor, banka geri alıyor mu o parayı? O hacker'dan.
Şu anda bankalar gerçekten de en büyük problemlerden bir tanesi bu, hackerlar için güzel bir problem. Parayı geri almak onlar için mümkün olabiliyor. Çünkü o kadar parayı arabanın bagajına koymak son derece büyük problem. Geçenlerde yani geçtiğimiz senelerde böyle bir olay yaşandı. 80 milyon dolar. Şimdi 80 milyon dolar 8 ton yapıyormuş abi. Ben daha henüz bilmiyorum. Sen biliyor musun bilmiyorum ama hani hiç
Yok da
tartma
benim
fırsatın oldu mu
annemin
bilmiyorum.
geniş bahçesi var Eskişehir'de. Orayı gömeriz ya. Sen öyle bir işe girersen sen gel
Haber
bana.
vereyim, yardımcı olur musun?
Tabii
Ha,
abi
tamam.
annemin 500 metrekare bahçe var. Aslan gibi gömeriz.
Tamam.
Kimsenin de ruhu duymaz baba.
Ama
Ya
şimdi
bir de sen nedir abi? Aa, bu milletle uğraşacağından olur. Sen bu işi yapabilir misin abi?
onu dışarıda konuşalım abi.
Tabii. Ne uğraşacaksın abim be? Pardon Burcu.
Estağfurullah.
Evet, ya bu geleceğimizi kurtarmaya çalışıyorum.
Farkındayım,
bebeğim.
farkındayım,
Adamı
farkındayım.
ikna etmeye çalışıyor. Tabii abi bir yere kadar babacığım yani. Neyse bunları konuşalım Gökhan abi. Şahaneymiş ya. 10 numara. Peki efendim şimdi kim geliyor?
Chris Roberts gelecek.
Kim baba kim?
Ya böyle Forbes dergisi kendisini 30 yaş altı en etkili 30 liderden bir tanesi seçmiş. Doğru mu?
O Jay Kaplan'dı. Ama onu da mı seçmiş? Olabilir.
Aynen öyle.
Gerçekten çok etkin.
Bu az önceki abimiz ama çocuk da fit, güzel de giyinmiş, yakışıklı da olan seçer. Ben olsam boydan kaybederim. Beni seçmez.
Yani şimdi bir sunum yapacak. Ben şöyle bir dileğim ve umudum var. İnşallah ben o sunumun içinde yokumdur. En azından onu söyleyeyim.
Nedir? Hani abinin şeyi ne? Hususiyeti ne abinin?
Ya böyle galiba bindiği uçağı hackleyip, doğru mu?
Evet.
Bindiği uçağı eklemiş ve böyle sağa sola doğru yatırmış galiba anladığım kadarıyla.
Şu an-
Bayağı cesur bir adam yani. Hani
Ben bir şey
kendi
söyleyeyim mi?
bindiği uçağı.
Böyle mesela telefonumuzu şarj etmek için hani kabloyu takıyoruz uçaktayken. Diyor ki işte do you trust this computer? Ben diyorum ki no, çıkıyorum. Yani ben o çerçevedeyim şu anda. Bir hedefim aslında, kusura bakmayın yani. No deyip çıkıyorum. O kendisi galiba yani yes deyip devam etmiş.
Yani bu abi bindiği uçağı sağa sola yatırmış öyle mi?
Evet, öyle
Ve
zevkleri
o
var.
pilot devam mı etmiş abi kullanmayı uçağı?
Galiba öyle olmuş.
Yazıklar
abi.
olsun. Ben olsam pilotun yerinde o meşe odununu alıp kim ulan benim uçağımla oynuyor? Değil mi? Kabin amiriyle beraber. Değil mi? Sen babaya bir dal. Senin uçağın lan o.
Gördün değil mi abi? Bak görüyorsun değil mi? Fena değil yani, boy pos.
Evet,
boy
abiye
pos fena.
çevirmeyin de. Evet, o da çok yarma gülmüş, dalınmazmış hakikaten. Evet. Cansın, baş tacısın abim. Bunu çevir, bunu çevir. Baş tacısın. Evet.
Kendisini o zaman çağırayım.
Evet, abinin bir de değişik bir tarzı var.
Kıyafet olarak söylüyorsun.
Sakın kıyafetine.
Aslında deneyebilirsiniz siz.
Sakalı. Evet, ben evde zaten böyle giyiniyorum. Jartiyerlerim de var Burcu. Çok güzel, makyajımı da yapıyorum. Gece çıkıyoruz Bağdat Caddesi'ne. Neyse. Abinin kıyafetine falan takılıp sakın makara yapmayın. Hakikaten büyük hacker. Adamın anasından emdiği sütü ılgıt ılgıt burnundan getirebilir. Az önce dedi ki telefonlarınızı hackleyeyim mi dedi. Ben patates sıçtım öyle söyleyeyim. Abim baş tacısın. Baş tacısın abim. Tamam çağırdı abiyi. Daha fazla
Alkışlarınızla
bulaşmayalım.
efendim. Chris Roberts geliyor. Saygıda kusur etmiyoruz.
Saygı
farkındayız.
tabii.
Welcome my
sir.
friend. Stage is yours.
Thank you.
All right. So, welcome. We have 69 slides in 19 minutes. Everybody good? Okay. Hacker's contemplation. Where do we go from here? We've heard from, obviously, a number of esteemed people so far. Let's have a conversation about what is going on. What do we do about it? Quick agenda. What the heck is the kilted thing doing here? We are going to have some fun with transportation. You've heard about the airplanes. Well, last night I sat out there with an antenna and made friends with a couple of the ships that go by here. State of the Union, what's going on? Why is everything broken? Humans. and everything else. So, the intro. As has been pointed out already, I've made friends with Nigeria, the ISS, the Mars rover. We got the Mars rover to play Freddie Mercury and God Save the Queen on Freddie Mercury. NASA was not very happy. Various things I'm working on. So let's talk about planes. We'll talk about the elephant in the room. One lesson I learned: never tweet about hacking a plane while on the plane itself. So we did a lot of research. We did a whole lot of research on this one. And we spent a lot of time trying to do the right thing, trying to do responsible disclosure. Unfortunately, it took 4 years of research before anybody paid attention. And even now, with DHS and other agencies involved, they're still not fixing the underlying problems. And this is the other challenge that we have with planes today, are obviously vastly different than planes that we had before. They are nothing more than a flying data center. 10,000 sensors in a wing, 5,000 pieces of data per second coming off of an engine. What do we as hackers want? We want the data. What is that? Nothing more than a damn great big data store. So, I'm going to run through a lot of different things. We're going to talk about transportation and intermodal. By the way, does anybody notice the Tesla crashed into the Tesla thing? One of the few. Chinese hacker group. Earlier this year and last year as well. A whole bunch of vulnerabilities in the BMWs. A whole bunch of issues in LiDAR. We're currently building what we call a LiDAR bomb. So for those of you that drive autonomous cars or semi-autonomous cars or ones that park themselves, the systems run at a certain series of gigahertz. We're actually building an architecture that will reflect a wall or that will run an attack against the system so it just ignores anything. Put 2 of those on a motorway, it brings the entire thing to a halt. Tried and tested in Detroit. This is current. We have spent the last couple of years working with the car hacking villages. This is the technology that we're using today. Last night, or yesterday, the amazing crew here took me out for breakfast, and I'm watching all the cruise ships and all the big tankers go by. So I went outside. This is an antenna going from sitting outside here on the patio while it was getting wet and soggy, going from that to the SATCOM system, which is an IP address, from SATCOM to navigation, from the navigation system using a remote desktop and a reverse shell to get into the maintenance, and now I'm in the ballast control system of a nice oil tanker that was going by. Read the name, read the address, figured out whose company owned it, ran a scan on the IP network, and made friends with it. You want me to turn this thing over? User ID, admin, password, 6 zeros. Yay! So, when you get banned from aeroplanes, you actually have to find another form of transportation. In this case, we went after locomotives. Not only did we go after locomotives, we actually basically started to look at the entire transportation system of food from the ships on the locomotives and everything else. The very top screen on here is a rail yard. The rail yard in question is in the US. All the different color-coded areas meant that we could get into each one of those and start shifting them around. We played jigsaw puzzles with all of the merchandise that were on each of these. User ID admin, password admin1. Telnet, on the internet. The middle one, this was a live demo I did in the UK a couple of years ago. We went after basically a company called Thales, who do all sorts of avionics, locomotives, and other fun things. User ID admin, password 6 zeros, gets you into the train. Now the problem is, I actually thought the train was in London, but it was in China. So if there's anybody from China, I apologize in advance. Even more fun, the bottom 2 screens there. That's signaling. This is where it gets nasty. You can buy one of these on the internet. eBay will sell you one for about $500 US. You can reverse engineer the hardware. You can go onto the internet and pull up all the configurations from it and figure out how to bypass all the signaling system. You want the train to speed up in the morning? Turn all the signals green. User ID, no user ID, password, password. Yay! We've researched locomotives for 3 years. Nobody's paying attention. This comes back to the human issue. This comes back to the problem with humans. We don't want to do anything until we've been kicked in the nuts. And only then do we pay attention. So the question, obviously, is why can we still break everything? Here's part of the challenge. We are so focused on red teaming. We are so focused on breaking everything. We, as security professionals and as organizations, have forgotten our core need and our core requirements, which is to protect. We are here to protect the very charges that we're responsible for. And we keep blaming the damn people. We've blamed developers, network users, end users. I've blamed my grandmother for problems in this world. And then we keep fixing Bandaids. We don't fundamentally fix the problem. So, this is where we are. We've failed. Spectacularly failed. And then we have to look at why. This is part of the issue. We talk the wrong language. We keep walking into businesses and talking in the way we understand, not how the business understands. We talk security when we should be talking safety. We try to explain security to leadership, and we get blank stares. Why aren't we talking about risk? Why aren't we helping organizations fundamentally understand safety? And then we have to look at the technology that we're deploying. We have, as security professionals, to start basically figuring out that this crap doesn't work. For those of you that know your history, this is the Maginot Line in France. Built in the 1930s, French were like, we've got the Germans sorted. We'll build all these defenses and it'll be perfect. And the Germans went, we're just going to go around them. Let me introduce you to today's Maginot Line. That's what we hide behind. And we wonder why we continually get broken. And this is how we feel. We keep doing the same thing. And we keep ignoring the humans. We focus on the blinky lights. We don't want to take the time to look at the humans. We unfortunately think that technology is easier and sexier to sell. I challenge every one of you. Do the vendors out here and then go to the conferences in Europe, go to the conferences in America. Take the buzzword bingo deck with you and see how many vendors talk about the buzzwords. And then start to ask them what they really actually mean. And then we look at this. Last year, we spent $90 billion on security. And we lost 2 to 5 billion records. It is not a good success model. So, the question, why do we need to change? This partly. We keep losing more and more data. We're generating more and more data, but we're losing more and more data. We don't even know exactly how much data we've lost. Part of the reason we don't know is this, technology. Technology is literally pushing us off the edge of the cliff. We don't have enough good people. Jay told you. We don't have enough good people to actually help understand the fundamental problems. So what do? We buy another blinky light and we put it in the rack and hope for the best. I put this one up because I like Dante. Dante's 9 circles of hell. Everybody will recognize circle number 1, which is the Microsoft wait state. All the way down through the new technology. We keep chasing technology. We keep looking at sullenness, the staring at the screen, all of these things we keep trying to do. And then we have to look at the human. So this is some of the research I've been working on. So we talk about hacking technology, now let's hack the human. This is the stuff we were working on for the last couple of years as well. This is nanotechnology. This isn't hacking computers, this is hacking the human body. In 2017, they started getting to the stage with nanotech where we could not only teach it to swim, but we can also teach it basic computations. We got it to learn how to recognize chemistry in the body. Why do we do that? So that we can start integrating that technology into the body. You start looking 5 years out, and we start realizing where technology is going. The whole idea about hacking applications and protecting applications goes away. We have to protect the body. Not only do we have to protect the body, but for those of you that come from the era of basically tinfoil hats, we're going to bring them back again. Why? Because of what we're doing with that side of technology. This is some stuff I've been working on in the last 6 to 12 months. We're now hacking the brain. We're using EEG sensors to pull data out of the brain. Part of the reason I'm working on this is because for 26 years we've stood on stages like this and yelled about passwords. Nobody can get passwords right. So let's change the paradigm and let's do something different. Let's actually use the human, the EEG, the architecture, as a method of encryption, as a method of validating that we are who we are, and the system validates back. Where I have this at the moment is I can walk into my lab, it recognizes the computer recognizes me, it allows me in. The same thing with my phone, the same thing with 2 other devices. So, rather than putting another Band-Aid over passwords, why don't we fundamentally fix some of these problems? So, as I said, we've pretty much broken everything. The humans, we're a mess. So what the hell do we do about it? Well, we're in Turkey. This is what we do. So for this one, I have to thank my hosts, the Innovera crew. So this was great. We had coffee yesterday. And then they introduced me to this. This is awesome. I might have spent a little bit of time last night making friends with the database behind this. You can put the application on, you can run a burp suite attack against it and find out where they're hosting the database. So if your prophecies are a little off for the next week or two, you can blame me. So we figured it out. What are we going to do? Well, it's dystopia or bust. What do we actually do? Let's take a little step back. The Industrial Revolution went from 1712 to 1913. The Industrial Revolution was several hundred years, so several generations that we had to get used to technology changing. The problem is, with technology now, we've had less than a generation to understand the consequences of our actions. We have not had time to learn how to deal with these technology changes. We, the human, have to speed up. Because this is what's going on. We have put net technology into the hands of the many. But the problem is there is still a huge gap in our understanding of it. Not enough people understand how to protect it, and let's face it, we are getting to the stage where we're handing control over to the machines. Could be good, could be a bit of a mess. So let's take a step and figure out what do we do. Let's fix the basics. We've had several people on stage already. I'm going to run through these. Let's get this right. Fix the human. How many of you have to deal with PCI or GDPR or anything else? Quick show of hands. Okay, so those of you that do it, you go through training once a year and you teach your users, don't click shit and don't send shit. Yes? And it's ineffective. Why don't we teach people every single month safety? Not security, teach them safety. Teach them how to protect themselves. Fix the human, change the conversation. Back to basics number 2. Your flat network is not secure. End of discussion. The one that's running Windows XP and it's on the flat network, we're going to break in that way. Why the heck do we still have remote desktop protocol on the bloody internet? So simple, get rid of the basic stuff. For those of you that are hiding behind a firewall or an IDS or an IPS, you don't have a perimeter. You have people, you have laptops, you have devices, you don't have a safety net. End of discussion. Get your eyes going. Start looking at the logs. Stop ignoring everything. And for crying out loud, can we please get passwords sorted out? Passphrases. Teach people. Help the human to understand how to separate. Two-factor authentication. Easy, simple stuff. Integration. And for those of you that don't have a plan, get a plan. You're not immune. You are not a special snowflake. You will be attacked. Therefore, get prepared before you have to call these guys out at 2 o'clock in the morning. As it says, get a plan. Let's talk about intelligent systems. Let's talk about how we should be. Yes, we talk about basics. Yes, we talk about us. But quite honestly, this is how we should be. We should be able to work with the technology successfully. We should be able to integrate it more effectively, but we're not. We're replacing humans rather than augmenting humans. Speaking of augmented, let's talk about intelligence. Go have fun with the vendors and ask them what their artificial intelligence actually is. Because if it's not this, they're lying to you. This is human. We have 3 areas, our influences, our lives, and our surroundings. If we want to build intelligence properly, we have to build it all 3 of those. Something like user behavior analytics is only one part of that. Something with machine learning is less than that. You want to do it properly, you give up on privacy. You want to actually build an intelligent system that understands how to protect and look after you, you have to give it all the data, all the time. Which means we have to collaborate. And that's everybody. We don't have an option. We are actually losing. I do a lot of work with US Guard and other people in the US. I stand up in front of rooms like this with generals and I go, hey, are we at war? And they're like, yes. I'm like, are we winning? And they go, no. It's a mess. And we all have to work together. Because this is basically what we're facing. That's technology. 5 million apps, 6 billion connected people. By the end of 2020, we will have 20 billion plus devices out there. So breaking it, who cares? We need to talk about how to fix it and fix the root cause behind it. And as Jay and a couple of others have said, we are short millions in this industry. But we need the people to come in, and we need diversity. Can't just be the 6'3" bearded white guy. We need diverse thoughts and diverse ideas. So, some final thoughts. I like this one. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands at moments of comfort, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. We are there now. We have to think differently. We cannot continue down the same path that we have done, because guess what? We failed. And that's us. Information security has failed you. And we have to do it differently. But we have to collaborate. Because quite honestly, this is what needs to happen. As individuals, we're going to fail. End of discussion. We need to work together. You get breached, you put your hand up, and you help everybody around you understand what happened, understand how it happened, and how they can improve. You have a smart idea? Do it this way. Here's We Will Succeed. This is everybody working together. Countries, people, race, creed, color, religion, background, I don't give a damn. We've got to do a better job. Final slide, Douglas Adams. So long, and thanks for all the fish. Very quick, 69 slides. Thank you very, very much, everybody.
And you're perfect.
You were not there.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun. Thank you,
you.
sir.
We have a little
Alabilir
gift
miyiz?
as well. Please
I got
stay.
to-
Alabilir miyiz?
I don't get to escape. Uh-oh.
Kadir abi yolu kesmeyin rica ediyorum.
Ha, buyurunuz
You
efendim.
want her
Buyurunuz,
to give it to you? Here.
buyurunuz efendim. Ben de kilo vermişim ya bak.
Thank you.
Rahat
Look, man,
geçiyorum.
live.
That's awesome. I love that one. That's totally awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
you hate this when they call it a skirt, right?
Yeah, people
What-
get tasered.
Yeah, you beat the guy.
Yeah, people get tasered.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a kilt. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, my
Thank you,
friend.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.